What up, Nutty? So, what I wanted to show you was this. So again, this may not be the exact meta of how to survive, but what I recommend doing is coming in as a scav. Again, have your map open. So I have this open right now, just so I know where I am. And now every 20 minutes when you get a scav run, you want to take your scavs very serious. We're not looking for any PvP contact at all. So we don't care if I see a player, I'm letting them go. So what I'm going to do right now is slowly stalk the area. Now here's some loot that I found. Now again, I can avoid this loot because in reality, I'm just trying to make it out with my equipment. That's it. So if you see how whenever I go into an area, I find a bush and I stay in that bush. I wait a little bit, look around. Now listening is key. So something I'll also show you. This helmet right here, don't put it on. Sell it. I found it off of a PMC, of a scav, but it's a firefighter's helmet. What's going to happen is if I put it on, you're not going to be able to hear shit. So that's why we want to avoid that helmet for the beginning. Once you start to get used to the game, you can kind of start wearing helmets and see what the difference is. Come over to here. Whenever you see loot, you lay down. Go into prone. This has already been looted. Now we go nice and slow. And I always, if you look at the top, the bottom left, I'm hitting caps. Caps. That little marker or on a scroll wheel, if you have a mouse, use your scroll wheel and scroll up. He walks a little faster. Scroll down and he walks much slower. Now in reality, we want to walk slow as fuck because it gives us a better opportunity, where in reality is if we're going too slow, we have to just admit that we're probably going to die anyway. So there's no reason to run, because in reality, if they hear us and see us, they're going to shoot and kill us. But if we're going super, super slow, that's okay. Super slow is not too bad, because at least it gives you a chance to sneak up on somebody. I wouldn't say it increases your survival rate, but it gives you a little bit of leverage where you're not making sounds so a person can't react before you get there. And I think that's a big thing. So if you see what I'm doing right now, I'm just going fucking slow. Painfully slow. Now I'm going to try to get this one loot spot that I know of. So I'm recording this all right now. I'll make it an MP3 and I'll put it on YouTube for you. It'll actually be my first YouTube video I upload. And I'll send it to you. And again, map knowledge is key, because look, now I know where this thing is. Click search. And I got some of the loot. And the number one thing right now is, see, I'm grabbing loot, but I want to stop. Don't move. Hit caps lock again to go really slow. Now, check my extracts again. Military base. And the best part of being a scav is you don't have to worry about another scav finding you. So we only have to really worry about PMCs. Now, of course, there are scavs that will just pop up and shoot you because they're dicks. But we have to live with that. I'm going to run a little bit, stop, hit caps again to slow down. And now there's 2 minutes and 44 seconds left in the raid. That's fine. It's always good to sometimes leave the raid to the very end. You want to be the last one out. Because most likely everyone else, especially when you're a scav, they've already left. Most likely, again, not entirely. But the probability is that everyone's already left. So we may have this map all to ourselves. But I run, and then I stop. Hearing whatever I can hear while I go through this area. Stand up, press caps lock again to slow down. Because if you have a raid and it gives you like 30 minutes, you want to take advantage of all that time. Now I'm running a little too slow. We're going to risk it. You have to remember, anytime you run, you're taking the risk of someone being pretty close to you and them automatically hearing you. And I didn't really need to run to get to where I was going, but I took the risk. And now what I normally would do is any bush that you can find and hide in. Now this isn't a great one, but it's good enough. Gives you some cover. So you want to sit in those for like a minute or two, or even 30 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever time you got. And now always expect an extract camper to be chilling in there. All right. Not too bad. We got a successful scav run. Now, honestly, in this circumstance, what you want to do is just, that's it. Close the game, watch a stream, look at the map, look at your next map. Well, okay, I learned this one area. Or your best bet right now is run an offline raid. After you've now finished this whole thing, you go to next, take all your good gear that you got, and go in an offline raid, because that's going to kill 10-15 minutes of your time, but it's also going to allow you to scav right back in, because that's literally all you want to do to get as much gear as possible is scav runs. Scav runs are going to give you no experience as a player, but all of the reward of gear. So I'm just putting all the gear to the side, and then I don't mean to rub it in, but I got a lot of stuff in my stash, you'll see. But this is what I do. Now, like for me, I can go back to work. I can go do my thing if it's a work day. If it's the weekend, then I can just sit here. Now, the next thing I would do is if I'm trying to gain experience, which is what I would recommend, you can at this stage go into an offline raid, and that'll help you actually get that little bit of experience and knowledge of where the map is, where you want to go. Alright, so I need to get all that in there. So I got another free backpack. Got some money-making stuff. Okay, let's find where the screw can go. Take that. Now, I always recommend, a lot of people do not do this, but I recommend keeping every knife that you can. And I'll show you this reason why. I keep all the knives. They're the A2607s specifically. You have one with a wood handle, and then one that's all black. And I'll show you why directly while this loads. So that's why with a lot of these things, a lot of people want to get into Tarkov and just run, chat it up, which is fine when you're starting, and I recommend doing that, but I recommend doing that offline first. Because what will happen is the gunplay with this game is so different. It's not like a Call of Duty. It's not like any of those other shooter games where the drop-off on this gun, where you're 100 meters out, you can't snipe with every gun. Every bullet has a different trajectory. Every bullet has different elements to the surroundings that they get affected by. So you're going to have, like I was shooting in another raid earlier where my ADR, I was literally sight on the guy, shoot. 10 bullets, didn't shoot him at all. Pulled out my MP5, got him in 4 shots. Now, a huge tip while you're doing all these scav runs, a great way to get a free gun is this right here. As you can see, I have 7 out of 8 of these A26. It's one with the wooden handle. If you come back, you can also get from the same Peacekeeper level 1, you can get an MP5 for 8 of those. And you can get a pistol for 4. It's the same knife, but with a black handle. So that's a good way to get a free MP5 that you can go run up in. And what I'd recommend is once you get that gun, I'm one away from both of them. What I'd recommend is now immediately you do a scav run. We have 16 minutes. Okay, perfect. What I would do is go click, go to factory, go to any map that you want, do offline. What I'd recommend is you do offline, you get used to it, you go through. Now what I'd recommend is go to next, do offline, don't enable the boss, but a good thing to enable is tagged and cursed. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I know that what that means is they'll come after you immediately. The second they see you, they'll immediately come after you. And I think the second you shoot them, I think they'll shoot somewhere else or shoot it away from you. But that's a good way to get that PvP experience. All right. What I'll do is I'll upload this on YouTube and I'll send it over your way, brother. And when I get another chance, hopefully later today, we can jump back into a raid together. But I think these little tips might help you get to the next level. I think they will. All right. Talk to you soon, my friend.